Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P. And of course, with my MVP, $1 million co-host, Shannon. Dave not going to be here today. He got some technical difficulties going on with his phone, so he'll be here next day. But today we do have a special guest, my little cousin, Andre, diehard Bills fan, been a Bills fan ever since he started watching football, back in the '90s with Jim Kelly and all them. So, he's gonna come on here and break down this week 4 pivotal matchup. For this. All right, I know what I'm about to say is episode 127 for the YouTube version. For the audio version, season 2, episode 28. The audio version links are right there in the below and description. Myself, Dave, and myself, David Shannon's social media platforms. Like I said, if y'all feel like anything, we should be talking about messages, I'm gonna add it on the show. I'm gonna let Shannon do the honors. You want to do the honors, man? Or I can do it. It's up to you. It don't matter. It's your call. Since we didn't do Tuesday. Matter of fact, go ahead. Since we didn't do Tuesday, so I'm gonna let Shannon narrate, break down each topic, and we'll answer it. Like I said, when over under, we'll switch it up a little bit. So this is we got a Bills fan here as well. So go ahead,
All
Shannon.
right.
We start off with every week on this on this
All
preview.
right. Well, first, I want to welcome Dre. I do appreciate you for being here. This should be fun talking to a fan of another team. But we're going to start with previewing this game. I don't know if Justin explained to you how this works. We basically just go coach to coach, player to player, and say who we think is who wins that matchup. You'll just say Bills or Ravens in each individual matchup. So we start with the coaches. So Dre, you can go first because you're our guest. Who do you give the edge to in coaching, Harbaugh or McDermott?
I'll go Harbaugh.
Okay. Any particular
Mhm.
reason why?
I mean, I go Harbaugh because he got the Super Bowl experience and he's been in these big time games a lot more than Sean McDermott has, and I just think that he's just a better coach overall.
Okay.
And what do
Right.
you think, Jason? Who do you give the edge to?
I do give it to John Harbaugh. I'm critical of him. But yeah, for everything Andre just said, and plus, like I said, Harbaugh definitely has been around the block for a while. Not just only as a head coach, as an assistant. They both come from that Andy Reid coaching tree. Charlie Andy Reid defensive coordinator. The last couple years in Philly, he was there. Once Jim Johnson had stepped away. But yeah, it definitely has to go to John Harbaugh. But overall, but right now, if we talk about right now, it might gotta favor McDermott because his team's 3-0. So and that's what counts. Is what you have done for me lately. So for right now, I'm going to lean a little bit towards Sean McDermott. Like I said, because his team is undefeated right now.
I call it a tie. I feel like we can say whatever we want to say about John Harbaugh. The fan base has been calling for his head, not wanting him to be the coach anymore. But when I saw this past week, the team, everybody on the team getting shirts made for John Harbaugh's birthday, that lets me know that these guys are still all in on him, regardless of how the fans may feel about it. They could easily place blame on him about things that we feel like he's at fault for, but they don't, and you don't stick around this long in the league and be a bad coach. Um, and then with Sean McDermott, I feel like since he's been with the Bills, they've been a contender. Him and the Josh Allen era has been pretty good. Like I think that if you talk about naming coaches in the league, he's going to be on everybody's list. So I think he's a top coach. And the reason why I'm calling it a tie is not because I don't think that you give John Harbaugh the edge because of his experience. I just feel like if I break it down and just look at these last couple of years when they both have had these quarterbacks that came out in the same year, they've kind of done. It's like you can make an argument for both of them. So for me, it's kind of like a tie. I think both guys are great coaches and have done great things for their organizations, and both guys changed the culture when they came.
Oh, well said, Shannon. Well said. Spot on.
All right, so let's move on to the offensive coordinators. Dre, what do you give? Who do you root for? Todd Monken, or not root for, but who do you pick? Todd Monken or Joe Brady?
Right now, I would have to go Joe Brady because it seems like the Bills have an identity. They feel like they've been spreading the ball around from all these different players, and like you never know who can get the ball, and it's and it's working. Like they averaging like 30 plus points per game, so- which is kind of crazy to think of
Mhm.
because like during the off season, even myself, I thought like we was gonna take a step back by losing Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Mitch Morse, like them players on offense, and they look even better, which is a shocking like. I didn't see that coming at all. So I would have to go with Joe Brady because right now it seems like the Ravens are kind of struggling with that identity. It's like the first couple of weeks is like they didn't really want to run the ball, and then I mean you have no choice but to run the ball against Dallas because their run defense so bad. But
Mhm.
I mean we'll see this Sunday. But right now I had to go with Joe Brady.
And what do you say, Justin? Joe or Todd?
You gotta go Joe Brady. Bills are averaging what? I know for sure with 35 points a game. They put every game they played in, they put up 30 plus. They just put up almost 50 in the Jaguars. Us like we having I think now we found our identity, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a couple of hours. But the Bills, like I said, man, Josh Allen just getting into others open. He's not worrying about feeding to this one particular guy. Like I said, minus, like I said, them moving on from Stephon Diggs, I knew they'll be okay, and I told Andre this too. Because now Josh Allen can just get the ball to wherever he got, wherever nobody crying, and pouting for the football. So Khalil Shakir and all them guys are making plays. And James Cook, like I said, Joe Brady is definitely utilizing all his talents. Like I said, and he's a big part of why Joe Burrow, won the Heisman, had the season he had at LSU. So definitely,
Mhm.
I get Joe Brady. Todd Monken's a good coordinator, but he kind of like gets away from stuff when it's working. When one's working, and all of a sudden he's wanting to start passing out the blue. But he did a much better job Sunday. Like I said, Todd Monken's a much better coordinator. He's not under the influence. For those who know, so yeah, it gives definitely gotta give a slight edge to Joe Brady.
I agree with you guys. The Bills' offense looks great. I mean, everybody probably had the same questions about who left and how it would look, but they look great to me. I like an offense when a lot of different people can touch the ball, because it makes it harder to defend. And when it comes to the Ravens, I mean, we're still trying to figure out who we are, and we still question a lot on that side of the ball. We thought the offense would look a lot different under Todd Monken, but we're still complaining about the same things we've been complaining about. So I'll give it to Joe Brady as well. All right, so moving on to the defensive coordinators. Is his name Bobby Babbage? How do you say
Bobby
his
Bad.
last name?
Yep.
All
You
right,
said-
and Zach and Zach Orr. Who do you pick, Dre?
if you asked me this question before the season, I would have went with Zach in defense for the Ravens, but right now, I would go with Bobby because it seems like he's like, like a lot of players, like outside of Bills fans, a lot of players like people don't even know on our defense, and they like like shutting people down basically because we. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been bad, but I mean they've been owning us the past few years, like that we can't beat Jacksonville for some reason, and they just destroyed them this year, and like we shut down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, which was a shock to me. I thought they was gonna go crazy because like Jordan Poyer, Michael Hyde, all those guys are gone. So I was thinking, man, they about to air us out. It's gonna be a shootout, and we shut them down before Tua went down with the injury, of course. So it's and he even got Von Miller looking good again, which Von Miller was horrible last year. So right now I would have to go with Bobby.
And what do you think, Justin?
I
Bobby
gotta go
or
with
Zach?
Bobby. I don't want to say his last name incorrect, so I'm gonna just say Bobby. I'm gonna just be like that. Yeah, because Zach all man, like I understand it's gonna be some growing pains, but Jesus Christ, like the first half or the first three quarters of the game against the Cowboys was what we were hoping. And they're pretty good, but you gotta put teams away, and that's defensively too. Yes, the offense stalled, and they probably got tired. I get all that, but still, like you gotta finish guys. Every and I know Mike McDonald had his struggles too. But the Bills, the only team that scored 27 points on the Bills was the Cardinals. And the Cardinals is a much better team than anticipated. With Marvin Harrison, those guys. So everybody else, they held the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, to 7 or 10 points, or they held the Dolphins to 10 points. So you definitely gotta give the slight edge to Bobby.
Yep, and I agree with you guys. Slight edge to Bobby. I think that as we've been saying all season so far, we're giving Zach all grace. First year coordinator. If I'm not mistaken, I saw Bobby is as well. First year coordinator for the Bills.
Yeah.
So both of those guys are new coordinators in that regard. You can look at who we played and try to say, we had tougher matchups maybe than who the Bills have faced, and that would be fair to say. But
Mhm.
I think that looking at the Ravens, it's just been miscommunication every week. I feel like I give them props for being because I saw earlier that we're ranked number one in run defense. I'm not surprised by that. But there are other areas of our defense where we're like almost towards the bottom of the league, and that's not the Ravens' way. Again, giving you grace and all, but still, we have expectations here. So I'm definitely going to give that slight edge to Bobby. But Zach Orr can definitely turn it around, and maybe adding Yannick can help out a lot in fourth quarters when it seemed like guys are getting tired. I mean, that might play a part in, the collapses that we have had. All right, so moving on to the quarterbacks. Who do you have, Lamar or Josh Allen, Dre?
Get
Now,
ready to
that's a
take.
tough one because I'm a fan of both. Like, believe it or not, this is an argument that I have on Twitter, that I have on Facebook, that I have like at work. Is like because like Ravens fans, they just. I mean, I understand you got to be a homer, so I mean, you ride with your guy, but they be saying like basically Josh Allen is basically trash. I mean, my argument is like they pretty much on the same level. I think they. I mean, even though Lamar has won like the MVPs, I feel like they both been like balling since they came in the league, and they both got their teams in like top of the conference. It's kind of hard to argue against either one of them. But if we
Hmm.
want to go with who's playing better right now, of course I'll go with Josh. But Lamar scares you on any given night. I don't care what nobody say. Any hater, like Lamar Jackson is a beast. So I'm definitely like on pins and needles with this game because I have no idea how it's going to go. So right now I would go just by the way they playing. I would go with Josh, but Lamar's a beast. So
And Justin, what do you say, Lamar or Josh Allen?
Like Andre said, it's definitely close for sure. Than people may perceive. Josh Allen is definitely not a scrub. Yes, he had some turnover issues and all that stuff like that, but Josh Allen has 4 or 5 playoff wins. So yeah, like I said, but I'm gonna definitely give it the 8 because, like I said, 8 just his elusiveness and his air living is always to make something out of nothing. So it's like defensive coordinator, like, man, we be thinking we have him got, and then he still get the pass off. He still find a way to get out of this. Like Michael Parsons said it, man. He said, man, he was like, why? He was like watching a video game out there, man. There's nothing I can really do, but just. And Josh Allen makes stuff happen too as well. He's bigger guy, so he poses a different threat. But I just gotta give the slight edge to 8 because like I said, Lamar's always found a way, make something happen, even not having the best of talents. So I'm gonna give that slight edge to 8.
Okay. I called it a tie. I agree with Dre. Like it's hard to really pick and choose either or because they both contribute to wins. They both can put up stats. They both can take over a game. They both are able to run. Like you said, Josh Allen poses a different type of threat with his running ability, but he can run some people over. Like we see it happen week in and week out. Lamar has the hardware, but Josh Allen is in the same conversations that Lamar's in, and ever since they've been in the league, both teams have been contenders. So for me, it was hard to pick either or. So I just called it a tie.
Yeah, the
All
Bills
right.
only missed the playoffs with Josh Allen rookie year. He didn't even start that whole year.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dre. So who do you have in the running backs matchup? Ravens or Bills?
I'll have to go with the Ravens in that department. Y'all got King Henry, so can't really argue against that one. He's been like the top rusher for like the past what 5 years. Like if you want to do like total yards, so gotta go with King Henry with that. Even though James Cook has been like playing good ball, but you can't argue against King Henry.
And what do you say, Justin, in the running game, Ravens or Bills?
Definitely Ravens, like for what because just said Derrick Henry, man. Like I said, man, he's been a top five back the last, like you said, 5 or 6 years. Like James Cook is definitely ascending. He's getting better each year. But yeah, like I said, it's the first ballot Hall of Famer, man. So former 2000 yard rusher, so it definitely favors the Ravens with Derrick Henry.
Same thing. I think it's the Ravens as well. For everything you guys said, but I do think the Bills have a solid run game. I do.
Mm.
All right, and who do you give the edge to with the offensive line, Dre? Ravens or Bills?
I'm going with the Bills in that department just because the Ravens has lost some key pieces, and like the way the Bills offensive line is playing right now is insane. Like I think Josh is like the least sacked quarterback in the league. So just off that strength alone, I would have to go with the Bills. Even though the Ravens run blocking is crazy. They always like number one every year in running. But I mean that's also due to having Lamar Jackson, but still. I'll have to go with the Bills on this one.
Mhm. And what do you say, Justin? Offensive line, Ravens or Bills?
Oh, definitely Buffalo for sure. Because like I said, we got three new starters, two particularly on the right side, and one at guard that we're experimenting with. He played better this week, but overall hasn't been good. Dang Parlay. They got Deion Dawkins. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andre. I mean, I know, but Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse. Uh,
Mitch Moore's gone. He with Jacksonville.
okay, gotcha. Who y'all right tackle? Is it still the kid
Spencer Brown.
Christian Brown? Okay, yeah. Like I said, the Bills, but the Bills O line is more intact. So yeah, I gotta give the edge to Buffalo. It's a no brainer for me.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't even think it's much to say there. The Ravens' offensive line had not been great through 2 weeks, and they played really well last week. So we'll see how it goes this week. So I'll definitely give that to the Bills. And with the wide receivers and tight ends, we do them together. So as a group. So Dre, who do you give the edge to with the tight ends and the wide receivers, Ravens or Bills?
Good.
Hmm. This one, that's a good one right here. I'll have to go with the Ravens because the Ravens receivers, I guess they're more well known around the league. Like the Bills receivers are still trying to make a name for themselves, and we basically like playing like by committee. Like they all playing together. I mean, Dalton Kincaid, first round pick. I think he's gonna be a star coming up, but Mark Andrews is already a star, so it's like can't really argue there. And then like Zay Flowers, Bateman, I think they're, yeah, I think they right now. I think they're better than the Bills receivers. So I had to go with the Ravens on this
And what do you say, Justin? Ravens or Bills for wide receivers and tight ends?
If you'd asked me if this was last year's game, but in Buffalo was not even wasting my time because with Stephon Diggs being there. But since what they got currently is definitely the Ravens. Like just like Andre said, Andrews, all pro guy. I know people starting to forget about him because he's been banged up with the injury from the car accident. Likely, he is emerging. But like Dave Flowers or Dog Bateman, he's starting to get more control in offense. Nelson Aguilar's making his plays when he called upon. Khalil Shakir, Washington, Boise State, solid receiver, fast. Marquez Valdez Scantling, two-time Super Bowl champion. He kind of gets a little bad rep because he has some drops. Keon Coleman, Moonman Shannon was high on the Ravens. We hoping actually the Ravens draft him, so we watched it. And, me and you Kane fans, so we watched him. In the Florida State Miami rivalry. The kid definitely can play.
one.
Dalton Kincaid's a beast for sure. Utah and Dawson Knox always a steady tight end. But I'm just going to just give a slight edge to the Ravens, like you said, because with the consistency of Mark Andrews and Isaiah Light.
Okay. Um, for me, I'm going Bills, and it's because when we do these matchups, I look at it more like what's happening at the moment, because things can change week to week, year to year.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, the Ravens might have more well-known wide receivers, but for me, I don't mind having things happen by committee. I like the fact that the Bills have a lot of different guys getting involved and touching the ball. I don't know, I'm not big on stats, so I don't know the stats. You guys might not have had a 100-yard wide receiver game yet, but that doesn't change anything. When you have everybody being involved and touching the ball and affecting your offense and putting points on the board, that's all you can ask for. And I just feel like they've been a more consistent group than the Ravens. Of course, we know what Mark Andrews is and what he can be, but he hasn't been that through 3 weeks. So I can't give him that edge right now when he hasn't done anything right now. And when we look at the Ravens, like I said, your guys are just more consistent. We have Zay Flowers can get the ball, but then he'll be upset that he didn't get the ball, in another half of the game. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you guys utilize who you have better than we do. I feel like they're more consistent groups, so I'm going to go with the Bills in that department.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I be trying not to be biased, but I mean, I think about it when I make these choices, but I was really like, we could easily go by names, but at the same time, what you doing on the field,
Right, right,
you
sure.
know? All right, so we're gonna move over to the defense. Dre, who do you give the edge to, with your defensive front, Ravens or the Bills?
This one tough too. Well, I'm gonna use your logic here. I'm gonna go off the way they playing right now. I would go with Buffalo, as Greg Rousseau and Von Miller are playing like out of their minds right now. So I can't. It's hard to argue against that. Like Von Miller's resurgence has been like the big key to our defense this year. Him and Rousseau getting to the quarterbacks and Ed Oliver pushing the pocket back. You know what I mean? The Ravens, like Kyle Van Noy and them boys, they nice, man. I always thought he was a bum at first, which is crazy, but he's been proving me wrong a lot. So I definitely got to give big props to him. But right now, I'll go with the Bills.
And what do you say, Justin? Defensive line, Ravens or Bills?
Definitely the Bills. Definitely the Bills. Last year would have probably said us, but this year the Bills, like I said, losing Clowney. Van Noy stepping up always showing flashes of Dabo, showing flashes, but the Bills have been the most consistent team as far as rushing the passer. Gregory Rousseau, another a Miami guy. Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, AJ Espinosa, who was a second round pick a couple years ago. He's finally coming into his own. And like I said, they got Von Miller coming in and rotating, Dwayne Smoot from Jacksonville, and the kid Javon Solomon from Troy that we kind of wanted us to draft. So yeah, I would definitely go with the Bills right now.
Cool. This was tough. This wasn't one that I came to a decision with easily. I gave the slight edge to the Ravens. Everything you guys said is true. Pass rush on both sides is there. The reason why I'm giving a slight edge to the Ravens is because, like I said, what I saw earlier is we are ranked number one in run defense. And a lot of what you do defensively starts up front. So if you can make a team one dimensional and then add on the aspect of being able to rush the passer and get pressure and things like that, I think that adds on to your mystique. So like I said, it wasn't easy. I don't think it's a wash, but I do give the Ravens a slight edge just because of the run defense. All right, and linebackers. Ray, who do you give the edge to with linebackers, Ravens or the Bills?
Right now, I have to go with the Ravens because the Bills are injured at linebacker, so we playing a bunch of backups, even though they've been playing pretty well. But Roquan Smith is an all-pro player. Can't really argue with that, so I'll have to go with the Ravens on that end.
And what do you say, Justin, for linebackers, Ravens or Bills?
Gotta go Ravens. Like he just Dre said, O'Connell Smith, all pro linebacker. Although he's probably regressed a little bit this year, but that's probably due more so to scheme than him. Trenton Simpson, he's out there making plays, stuff like that, and in place of Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison, he's filling in. Dorian Williams, solid player from Tulane. I remember watching him against USC. Terrell Bernard, solid player. And Nicholas Morrow, solid player with the Eagles and Raiders. But Matt Milano's out for the year. That was big for them, real big. He does everything for them. Spider quarterback cover. And they lost Terrell Dotson to Seattle. So just with that, you gotta go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I have the Ravens as well. Even though I hate the way that we're defending the middle of the field, I've been saying that for the past 3 weeks. I will give it to the Ravens. I think that Zach Orr might want to try to figure out a way to not have Roquan having to chase people down. I mean, he's not the fastest linebacker in the league. Trenton Simpson is a little bit faster, might be able to get to certain points quicker. That might want to be a change that Zach Orr looks at. But I will still give that to the Ravens in that department.
I'll say
Andre, who do you have for the DBs? We grade the secondary altogether, safeties and cornerbacks. So who do you give the edge to, Ravens or the Bills?
Ah, this one is tough too. I think I'll go with the Bills because of the way their corners are playing, Russell Douglas and Christian Benford. But the Ravens DBs are pretty good as well. Can't argue with um, Marlon Humphrey and what's my man Kyle Hamilton. Can't really argue with those guys. They all pro players, but right now I would go off the way they playing right now. I would go with the Bills. Seems like the Ravens secondary is struggling. I think they got like the last ranked last pass defense right now, which is shocking. The Ravens really don't give up too many passing yards like that. But yeah, I would have to go with the Bills on this one.
And what do you say, Justin, for the DBs, Ravens or Bills?
definitely gotta go Ravens as far as his talent, like alone. Like I said, then the numbers are skewed, like Kyle Hamilton saying, because they're taking away the run so well. So teams really gotta just abandon the run and just chuck the ball. And a lot of a scheme, like you say, Zach or start playing all crazy coverages, and the players got to execute better too. But just off the talent alone, it has to be us. Marlon Humphrey, like you said, Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, Darius Washington, Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson, like. He just got a lot of talent back there. Sadusky Kane. The Bills secondary was pretty good. Rasheed Douglas, reformed himself in Buffalo after being with Green Bay and Philly. Taylor Rapp, same thing, former Super Bowl champion, the Rams. Damar Hamlin's, great story. He's actually making plays too. He's not just out there just as a heartfelt story. He's actually Christian Benford. I feel like he could be had at times, but he's doing his own for the most part. And Teron Johnson's been solid. He had that pick six against us in the division round a couple years ago, and they were corner. But just with the talent back there alone, I gotta go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like Dre, you're right with how we've looked this year, but a lot of that plays into what goes into to me miscommunication. Like they've looked lost out there a lot of times. But I just feel like we have a deep group. And for that reason, I'll give the Ravens the edge in that department with the DBs.
Like the only reason why I would go with the Bills because that week two game, man, that I can't get that out of my head. Gardner Minshew, it's tough, man.
You gotta
But
think
you know what? Some
Devontae
guys,
Adams
some
too. Devontae Adams
yeah.
too. Not like no
well,
sorry.
yeah, well, yeah.
And what's the and that rookie was going off too. That tight end, they was eating.
Brock
They
Bowers,
was
yeah.
eating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
But sometimes you just play against certain teams, like you said about the Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a reason, like Minshew plays the Ravens and he becomes elite. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
'cause
Like
I
you
think
can never count him out in that sense. So it's like we looked at it like, all right, a gimme game almost, right? But he's still a professional. He still got talent on the other side of the ball. And when you down and trying to come back, what else you gonna do but pass?
right.
So they passed the ball, they got their big plays, and it was horrible for us, but that was great for them. So it's like I get what you're saying, but sometimes it just happens like that. Like everybody get paid.
Oh, that's facts though. That's facts.
All right, so we're gonna go to special teams, and we re-rate them as well as a collective. So who do you give the edge to a special teams, Ravens or the Bills, Dre?
I'm going with the Ravens on that one because y'all got like the best kicker ever. Even though he not really playing like it right now, might be in a little slump, but I think he gonna snap out of it. So I have to go with the Ravens in that regard. Like what's his name? Justin Tucker is just he's a beast. So I go with that. I go with the Ravens.
And what do you say, Justin, for special teams, Ravens or Bills?
I give a slight edge to the Ravens. It's like you said, Tuck definitely and just in a little funk. I think he'll. I think that'll pass. Like I said, he didn't forget how to kick. It's just one of those things. Just happens. Tyler Bass, a pretty good kicker. Sam Martin, punter. Brandon Culverjing as a punt return and kick return. I don't know a lot about him. But Deontay Hardy, man, he's averaging about like 30, like 20 yards a return. And then you still got Tylen Wallace, too. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Ravens.
I think Deontay Hardy single handedly won the division for us last year. So I'll definitely give y'all the edge on that. That
I'm
punt
going.
return
I'm go-
offense game, man, that was big.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm going Bills in this one because the Ravens special teams really haven't been that good this year. And we can I seen John Harbaugh said it's a technique issue with with Tucker as to why he's missing field goals. But for me, like I was giving him grace at first and saying things like the offense needs to get us in better position, which I still agree with, get us in better position so he's not trying to kick 50 plus field goals every day going game. But at the same time, you got to make your shots. Like you look around the league, he's the only one that's missing field goals. I saw a stat; he's the only one that's missed field goals from over that point. So it's more of a him issue. And then when you look at South, that 24-yard punt in that game against the Raiders was horrible. So again, when we think about overall, yeah, you might say Ravens just because you talk about names and things like that. But how they've been playing through 3 weeks and haven't been the best. And it's like every game Tucker missing a field goal. It's putting us in a position where it's costing us points, and you're putting the other team in position to get points. So for that reason, I can't give that to them right now. But of course they can improve, but they just got to show me first.
Can argue with that.
All right, so the next questions that we have, I'm going to gear it towards the Bills when I ask you, Dre, and then me and Justin will do it geared towards the Ravens, okay?
Okay.
All right, so how will the Bills defense defend the Ravens offense?
It kind of went out right there. What you say?
How will the Bills defense defend the Ravens offense?
Man, it's tough because it's really Lamar Jackson is so good. It's really not a simple answer to that. Even though I'm looking at the stats here, he's kind of struggled against the Bills, but I don't know. I can't. You can't really load the box against the Ravens because they can hit you over the top. So I guess I would say play like a bend but don't break style. Like they gonna get their yards from running and like just don't let them get in the end zone when they get down to the red zone. Force them to kick field goals and
Mm-hmm.
like give our offense chances to battle back. I think that's the best way to defend them at the moment. Because it's really no one way to defend them, man. Lamar is so dynamic, and there's so much you can do with him. So I would just say like play like a bend but don't break style. Like you probably gonna give up some plays, but just keep them out of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And Justin, how will the Ravens defense defend the Bills' high-powered offense?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. Zach all better be up all night, Saturday and Friday night. First, you have to account for Josh Allen first and foremost. Because 3rd and 10, everybody covered. You drop him back, you play his zone, you turn your back to him, you can take off, get a first. He did it last time in Canaan in 2022. Remember, he rolled out Patrick Queen.
Mhm.
Besides, he wanted to slice in, he ran right outside him for a touchdown. So, first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost, we got to account for Josh Allen. Like, if we got spine with Trenton Simpson or whatever, or one of them nickels, so be it. Stop James Cook too. Stop James Cook because, like I said, he's a shifty back. Not only can he run the ball between the tackles, he can catch the ball at the backfield. So definitely, and the two tight ends. I'm not no like I said, the receivers are good, but I'm more worried about the tight ends, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. You definitely got to make sure they're accounted for. So Kyle Hamilton, Eddie Jackson, those guys, they gotta be prepared. And even Roquan Smith. They can't let the tight ends just come down the middle of the field, wide open, untouched. And Marlon Humphrey, get your hands on Keon Coleman and Khalil Sheriff. No clean releases. Get your hands on. Don't be grabby. And we gotta get pressure too. Like the front gotta get pressure. Oway and Van Noy, Roger Washington, them guys, and Michael Parrish, they've been playing well, but we have to make Josh Allen uncomfortable. We can't just give him time to throw the ball. It's not gonna play well for us.
Mm-hmm. So I think the goal will try to be to make them one-dimensional, and a lot of the times that's better said than done. Like I said earlier, everybody's a professional, so everybody's getting paid. So try to stop the run, which I think we can do. We've done. And like you said, contain Josh Allen. A lot of his like you could think that a play is over, but he has the ability to run and still scramble and get a first down. And it kind of puts me in a mindset of Big Ben, when we used to play against him and what he's able to do in the pocket, outside the pocket. The play is never over till it's over. So you can't just think that even if you're trying to go in for a sack, like get him down. Don't play around because I think he can still get the ball out and get it to where it needs to be. And I think we may need to have more DBs on the field at certain points of the game just to defend the pass a little bit better. That may help in that regard. I don't know, but it's an option. I think that Zach or might want to try to consider something like that because, like I said, it's not working with the linebackers trying to chase guys down the field. So we got to figure something out there. All right, Dre, and how will your defense? How will your offense attack the Ravens' defense?
Um, I would say try to establish some type of running game. Don't let them make us one dimensional because then that means Josh Allen passing the ball 40 times, 50 times. We don't want him doing that because we all know that he's turnover prone at times. So I definitely don't want him throwing the ball and being uncomfortable like a whole bunch. And at least establish some type of running game. Maybe get us about 50 yards, 60 yards on the ground just to have him respect us a little bit. And I would say spread them out because right now, like you said, the Ravens are kind of struggling in the middle of the field. I would say attack the linebackers with Kincaid and Dawson Knox, and just play turnover prone. Like don't turn the ball over. Just play clean football. Convert when we need to convert. And I would say score in the red zone. I think red zone scoring is going to be big in this game. I think we whoever scores like the most touchdowns probably going to like in the red zone is probably going to win this game. So I'll just say be efficient in the red zone.
Hmm. And Justin, how will the Ravens attack the Bills' top-ranked defense?
First and foremost, we have to like to piggyback off he said, we gotta establish the run. We have to. Like Derrick Henry had a monster game. Each week he has had a touchdown. He had two last week. So yeah, we got to establish the run. We got to feed the beast. He needs at least 22 carries, the same number as Jersey. Then play action pass. Then get like how we got Cole involved, Nelson Aguilar involved, Zay Bateman, get different guys, likely Andrews, get spread it around. Don't just focus on one guy because it just makes everything a lot easier. And then Lamar, do what you do. Do what you do. Like see how the read option was working. If nothing there, don't force it. You don't gotta hold on to the ball 99 seconds to try to prove you can throw the football. You don't win two MVPs if you can't pass the football. I don't give a shit what nobody says. So if the stuff is there, use your legs, take off. Extend the play. But yeah, but Todd Monken definitely has to start by running the football with Derrick Henry. So hopefully he don't go out and get drunk Saturday night. So I can go through. Man, I'm just saying, like, man, the man's alcoholic, but I still got love for him because he's my OC. But establish the run first, and like I said, and play action package. You still have three new parts on the offensive line, so you got to get those guys comfortable. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We've been saying this every week. Run the ball. Even when it look like it's not working, run the ball. You wear teams down that way. Fourth quarter, you see them starting to hold their knees. You know you're winning that battle. I think that's where it starts for this Ravens offense. We was able to see last week against Dallas what the Ravens' identity should be. It's up to them to keep it that way. It won't always be great for the wide receivers and tight ends stat wise, but it's a recipe for success in this offense and just don't get cute. We say that every week. Seems like we always saying it as well. Um, Lamar doesn't have to try to go throw for throw with Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like, do what works for you and what works for us as a team, and we'll be fine.
Agree.
So the next game, Dre, it's going to be about the Ravens, and you can answer this as well because I'm sure you saw the game on Sunday. So with
Mhm.
the success that you saw the Ravens had against the Cowboys with running the ball, do you expect the Ravens, to lean on running the ball, or the ground game more going forward?
Oh, for sure. And not only because that's your strength, I think that's one of our weaknesses because we play a nickel defense, so we got a extra DB on the field. So with King Henry, I would definitely say the Ravens should definitely lean towards running the ball against the Bills because kind of small and light up front. Like even Ed Oliver is light. Like they not really like Daquan Jones is big, but Ed Oliver's not that big. Then we got backup linebackers playing, so that should be feast or famine for the Ravens run game. So I definitely think
Hmm.
they should lean towards the run this game. I don't think they're gonna run for 200 and something yards, but I think they're going. I think if it's whatever the over is, I think they're either going to hit it or probably just get above it for sure.
And Justin, what do you think? Do you think we're going to lean more on running the ball from here on out?
Yeah, I mean, it got us our first win of the season. So yeah, like I said, you didn't bring Derrick Henry here just to pass block. So you got
Hmm.
300-pound fullback. Like I said, no team in the league has that. So we gotta use that to our advantage. And like Andre said, one of them light linebackers coming in the box and Pat Ricard right there, snuffing them out in the hole. They don't. That's gonna take a toll on.
Hmm.
So yeah, it definitely should be the focal point. Like I said, play action pass. When you get a chance. But yeah, it should all start with giving the ball to 22.
Hmm.
Yep, and I agree. I expect it at this point. I think that last week showed you what it should be, and running effectively opens up everything else. So you run the ball, you wear them down, and you go from there. Like it, I don't see any reason why they would go away from that. I mean, we've seen them do it, AFC Championship game, but you have a running back like that, run the ball, run the ball. All right, Justin. So you ready for the over under stats?
Yeah, I got it. All right, Andre. So we'll start with you with Josh Allen. We're gonna go 250 combined yards rushing and passing for Josh Allen over under.
I'm going over with that. It's just Josh has been like the number one fantasy quarterback probably like the last 3 or 4 years. It seems like he always get his numbers. So I would definitely take the over on that.
Now, how you think he's gonna get? He gonna get 200 in the air, 50 on the ground, 220, 30 on the ground. Like how?
Yep, I think he probably gonna get about 200 in the air and about 50 on the ground. It's
Hmm.
because he's so slippery when not even on design runs, but just that scrambles. He that's like he's deadly when it comes to that. So,
Yeah, 'cause
I
you gotta
think-
get him. He's like a faster Big Ben.
and I think that
Hmm.
Ravens. I think the Ravens secondary gonna show up this game. I think it's one of those games where it's under the lights. I think everybody gonna give it like they best shot, and I think the Ravens secondary gonna show up. So I think Josh gonna be on a run a lot more this game than he was the previous three. So I think he probably gonna hit about 50 rushing yards.
Shannon, Lamar 275 total rushing over under.
275. I'll say, I'll say he'll be at 270. Say
270
about
total.
220, 220 passing, 50 rushing.
Okay. I'm gonna go over for 300. I'm gonna give him 260 in the air, 40 on the ground. Like I said, with Derrick Henry running the football, I don't think he's going to run as much. I think he'll still get his few tries and few takeoff scrambles. But I know definitely we're going to have to feed Mark Andrews and Mike and guys like that. So I say over with 300, 260 and a half, 40 on the ground. All right, we'll go James Cook, Andre, total yards, 135, over under.
Under for sure. I think the Ravens definitely going. I think they're going to slow him down in the run game. So I don't really expect him to have. I would be shocked if he had like a big rushing game. I think he's going to catch a couple of passes out the backfield, but I think it's going to be one of those games where he really not a factor unless he catch like a pass and score that way. But no, I'll take the under on James Cook this game.
And Derrick Henry, let's go 105 yards rushing, over under.
I'll give him over, about 115.
I'm going to go over as well. I'm going to go 120. All right, Andre. Khalil Shakur, 50 yards receiving, over under.
I'll say over because he's been our most consistent target through the first 3 weeks, and I think Josh going to need him a lot this game. And I think yeah, I think he's going to catch like a lot of underneath catches and a lot of like first down catches, and he's been like our number one target. So I'll go with the over on that one.
Okay. All right, Shannon. Zay Flowers, 75 yards receiving, over under.
I'll go under and say 70.
I'm going to go over and say 100 because, like I said, Christian Benford, I think he could be had. I watched little film on him. He gets a little handsy. he's the weakest link in that secondary out of everybody. I don't know if Andre agree or not, but from what I see, I feel like he's the guy to target. Because Rasheed Douglas and Kaya Elam is hurt right now, but Teron Davis, they covering their guys. All the big plays that the Bills giving up, which ain't been many, it's been having on Christian Benford because he's a first time starter. So I'm gonna go Zay for 100.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox combined. We're gonna go 120 over under.
I think they're gonna go over. Just because it's two players combined together, and I think that's the area where the Ravens been struggling in the middle of the field. I think Joe Brady gonna scheme them up pretty good this game to get them the ball. They really haven't been targeted that much, which is shocking because I thought Dalton Kincaid was gonna be like the focal point of our offense this year coming in. So I think this game, I think they're gonna lean on the tight ends a lot more than the first 3 weeks. So I'll go over.
How much over? Well, how much? Give me a number.
Um, I'll say combined maybe about 130.
So what, 65, 65, 70, 65? You know, how they going to get? Or 70, 55, man.
Yeah, I think Dalton Kincaid will have 70 and Dawson Knox will have 55.
Okay. All right, Shannon. And Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely combined. I'll go 120 over under.
Under. And I think they haven't really been as we talked about in the position, like they haven't been that consistent. And if we follow the model of what I think this offensive identity should be, you might have a game where one of them might break out and have a good game. But I don't know yet. I need to see more from the group as a whole. So I'll go under. I mean, I could see Andrews having like 40, and I could see likely having about 34.
I'm gonna go under, but I'm gonna go 110. I'm gonna go 60 for Andrews, 50 for Likely. Last one, offense. We'll go defense. Andre Keon Coleman, 35 yards, receiver over under.
I think he's gonna be probably right at 35. That's been like his norm for the first couple of weeks. So I don't
Yeah,
have no reason to believe that he's gonna go over that. So it's just because the offense that we've been running has been like a spread attack. Everybody kind of getting the ball. So I would say right at 35.
so we're going for push. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Rashad Bateman, 40 yards over under.
Um, I'll go over and say 45. Bateman gets open a lot. That's something I feel like they need to work on in the film room to figure out. I don't know if it's a Lamar issue. Not saying like I don't know, but Bateman gets open a lot, and I think he can make a whole lot more plays if he was looked at in that way. Um, but yeah, I'm waiting for his breakout games.
I'm gonna go slightly over again 50 because each week he's been getting more targets. So I'll give him a little over 50. All right, defense. Total team sacks for the Bills defense. We're gonna start at 2 over under. What you think, Andre?
I would say over. I think we probably get 3.
Same for the Ravens, Jana. Total team sacks. I'm gonna go with 3 because they've been getting after the quarterback. So over under.
You said Josh Allen's been at least sacked quarterback in the league, right?
Yeah.
3. I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna say 2. I mean, I feel like we've been getting that. We get pressure. We get there. We have guys that are getting sacks. But I wouldn't. 3 would be asking for a lot if they're protecting him like that.
I'm gonna go over with 4. Like I said, Van Noy and them guys been coming off the edge. I think better BK gets 1. Van Noy get 1. Or we get 1, and we'll get 1 from like Cal Hamilton blitzing or something like that. So I'm gonna go 4.
They better realize how big Josh Allen is.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I think. Yeah, that's why I say he's a faster big man for sure.
Like I remember the battles with Suggs. I used to get so mad at Suggs. Like, just get him down. You be trying to do extra stuff sometimes, even though Suggs sacked him more than anybody else. I used to be like, come on, man.
Yeah, he
And
just
Josh Allen just reminds me of that. Like, you
yeah,
gotta get him down. Forget all that other stuff.
nah, for sure. Total team
Four sacks. Boy, I mean, we having a bad night, so I'm hoping that don't. We get 4 sacks. That
I think
bad.
we won a quarter, so it don't look that bad. But total team interceptions for the Bills defense, we'll go with 2 over under.
Under. I think we might get one. It might be one of those ones where the D line tip it up and the linebacker or DB come catch the ball. I think. Oh, it's gonna be tough because the Ravens run the ball a lot, and I think they're gonna have some success against our run defense because I don't think our run defense is that good. So I'll say under with one.
Yeah, you're right. Now, this only interception Lamar got wasn't even his fault. Bateman said it came out Bateman's hand instead of just went down with it. So that's a fair assessment. All right, Shannon, total team interceptions for the Ravens defense. We'll go 1 over under.
I will say over and say 2, and that's only because I feel like Josh Allen will be looking to pass, and it'll have more opportunities to make plays on balls. So yeah, I'll go 2.
I'll go right at 1 because, like I say, he's been protecting the football, so I'll go push. I think Nick Wiggins get him. I think Nick Wiggins get a pick. I think he just walk to the NFL and get an interception because he's probably gonna get targeted the most. He's a rookie because I know if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to attack the least experienced DB, which is him. So, but I think he made a big play last week with the knockout ball, CeeDee Lamb. I think this week he get an interception.
And Marlon Humphrey has 1 on a season, but he's been close to getting interceptions, to other
He almost had one
interceptions
last
too.
week. He almost was
Yeah,
close, yeah.
yeah, that's why I was thinking too, because I'm like somebody could sneak one, and yeah, but yeah.
All right, so last one. So for the Bills, Dorian Williams and Nicholas Morrow total tackles. We're gonna go 20 over under. Man.
I'm gonna go over because I feel like they're gonna get a steady dose of King Henry and Lamar. So I think they're definitely gonna go over.
We're like, so how many?
Maybe I
How
think
many?
they might have 10 apiece. I
In
think the Ravens gonna run the ball a lot. I think it's gonna be one of those games where
They don't got the
both teams gonna play to their strengths. So I
and
think
then
the Ravens.
the rain too, so they might, yeah, that might. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shannon. Trenton Simpson, Roquan Smith. I'm gonna start with 18 over under total tackles.
I'll go under. I'll say about 13, 7, and 6.
I'm gonna go right at 18 push. I think Roquan 10, Trenton Simpson. I think Zach Orr let him play a little bit more since what happened last week in the fourth quarter. I'm sure he's got a little bit of an earful about that. So I'll go push right at 18.
All right. So now we're going to do the keys to the keys to winning the game. So Dre, you can give it to us from a Bills perspective. 3 keys to the Bills winning the game.
I think the 3 keys for the Bills to win. I think the number one is gonna be stopping the run. I think we're gonna get a heavy dose of the run. And I think second key will be not turning the football over. We've been pretty good at it the first 3 weeks of the season, and I think that's one of the Ravens' strengths. The Ravens play good off of turnovers, so we can eliminate that. I think we'd be in good shape. And then 4, like I said, I mean 3. I would go with red zone efficiency. I think we have to score when we get down to the red zone because you never know how many opportunities we may get. So I think we got to cash them in when we get there. So I would go with those 3 as the keys to victory for the Bills.
I like that.
And Justin, what are the keys to victory for the Ravens?
Mine's always gonna stay the same. Number one, protect the football offense, meaning no turnovers or interception and fumbles. 2, create turnovers on defense. Give our offense a short field. We're getting extra possession always helps. And 3, score more touchdowns than field goals. That's always the biggest thing right there. Last week we did that. We kicked no field goals, all touchdowns. I don't know if it's going to be like that this week. We're playing a much better team. But that always increases your chances. Those 3 things right there.
And for me, I think we need the offensive line to play well. We see how this offense can look and how they can perform when it starts up front with them. They played a hell of a game against Dallas. I think we need to defend the middle of the field better. I mean, it's been open season in that area of the field for 3 weeks, and it'll be the same thing if we don't get that corrected ASAP. And we need to improve special teams play. As I said when we were talking about special teams, you can't keep leaving points on the field, or you can't keep putting your opponent in a position to be a better position to score, which affects the defense ultimately. So those are my three keys to victory for the Ravens.
Well said.
All right, Dre, and our last topic for the night is score predictions. So give me your score predictions and predict the winner.
Um, if y'all would have asked me this question before the season, I definitely would have picked the Ravens because looking at the schedule, I thought this was going to be like maybe our toughest game of the season. But the way both teams been playing, I will have to go with the Bills 27-24. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to come down to the end. It seems like every time the Ravens and Bills play, it come down to the end. So I think it's definitely going to come down come down to the end, and I think the Bills going to win 27-24.
And Justin, who do you have? Score prediction and game winner. Or who's going to win that
Uh,
game?
I got the Ravens by 3, 31-28. I think both teams going to score enough points, but play enough defense at the same time. Because you got two electric quarterbacks, so I think both of them want to, have their moment. But both defenses want to play well enough to keep it from not getting to a shootout. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Justin is going to win the game. To get everybody back on his get everybody back in his good graces. I think he's going to hit it for us. 31-28 Ravens. And like I said, we need to win. If Buffalo lose, there's no sweat off their back because they're probably going to win the division unless the Jets keep doing what they're doing. But.
Mm-hmm. So, like, Dre, it's interesting you say when you looked at the schedule, how you looked at it, because this was one of the games I looked at and said 50-50. Like, I can see the Ravens winning it, I can see the Ravens losing it. I'm going with the same score you had, Justin. I have 28-31 Ravens. I just feel like being at home sometimes helps, even though we lost to the Raiders at home. But it's going to be a night game. The atmosphere is going to be great. It's going to put me in a mindset of a couple of years when we played against the Chiefs on a Sunday night. And like you said, Justin, the Ravens got everything to prove at this point. They know what's at stake. So I do think it'll be the Ravens in that game 28-31.
Like I said, the Bills lose. It's like, of course, nobody never wants to lose, but it won't hurt y'all at all. We lose 1-3 with Pittsburgh winning, that's going to be a problem. So,
Yeah, that
yeah,
definitely will put y'all in the hole for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the Steelers playing consistent the way they playing for all season. I think it's just one of those things where people really don't got too much film on how Justin Fields is with them yet. I think get a couple more games. I think we're gonna see them come back down to earth, and I think the Ravens gonna resume the top spot in the North.
I hope you're right, guys. I hope you're right. But
Yeah, the Steelers haven't. I ain't that. I'm not that high on the Steelers even myself.
I'm
Like
not
you,
even. But,
they haven't
but,
stayed.
but we got, but 3-0 is 3-0, even
Yeah,
though
yeah, yeah.
No,
You can't argue with 3-0. You can't argue with
this is
that.
what we've been talking about that, right? And I think that Steelers 3-0 and the Bills 3-0 and the Chiefs 3-0 are totally different 3-0s.
course, they're the worst
You
3-0
take
team. It's no
you
doubt
take
about
your you take your you take your 3-0 as it comes, regardless. You can't help who you play. But I'm not gonna sit up here and act like the Steelers been world beaters and the people that they played was just great team. No, you play on your schedule and you 3-0. Okay, we still got a bunch of weeks left to go. We didn't see the Steelers go 11-5 and flame out. I mean, I'm sorry, 11-0 and flame out in the season. I think they finished 11-5. So I'm not. It is what it is. We still got a whole bunch more to go
But
with them.
just yet, I
it.
got to see
Yeah,
a little bit more from them.
yeah, we're y'all final.
Now their defense is legit though. Their defense is legit.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
people right. Yeah. When y'all final remarks, we'll start with our guests. Go ahead, all anything you want to say before we wrap it up.
Um, yeah, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for bringing me on. It's been a great experience, and man, I'm a little nervous about this one. I can't lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm one of those homers that's just like, yeah, the Bills gonna blow the Ravens out. This and that. No, I'm not really one of them. This one of the games where it's like, ah, like they, we might struggle a bit in this one. So we'll see. But I appreciate y'all for having me on for sure.
Oh, no problem.
No problem.
staying available. I know you're a busy man. Go ahead, Shannon.
I just want to give a shout out to the Orioles. I
Yes.
went to New York. I went to New York this week to watch the first game on Tuesday. That was a great atmosphere. The Orioles clinched the playoff spot that day, and we won again yesterday. I don't know what the score is today. I know the Yankees only need one win to win the division, but with the way we've played over the past couple of months, I'm just glad we are turning it up, getting some guys back healthy, and get ready for the playoffs. October will be here soon. Go O's.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Shannon said, yeah, old Stephen. We in the playoffs. Let's go on the hot note. Let's try to shock some teams like the Rangers did last year. See what happens.
Mhm.
Me and Andre both Hurricanes fans. We 4-0 for the first time since 2017. We play Virginia Tech tomorrow night, 7:30. So we tune in and watch that. Look like we're gonna go 5-0.
That boy
And
Cam Hasman, the way he playing, but
Cam Ward for Heisman. I love to go in all of them, but can't gotta go Cam Ward. Sunday, man, Andre will be there at the game side by side. So y'all enjoy the games this weekend, college and NFL. Man, Shannon be on here Tuesday, win or loss. So, we here every week. We're not the type of people we go hide. We may miss a show here and there because, people busy, we got lives and stuff like that. We got families. But, we're going to always just give y'all at least a short week. So, and all I'm about to say, make sure y'all trade. Y'all know what that means. Talk Ravens all day, every day. I'm your host, Justin P. MVP co-host, Ms. Shannon Finch, and a special guest, my little cuz, Mr. Andre Williams, aka Dresco. Uh,
sure.
I love y'all guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We out.
Right.
Good night, guys.
Good
Have
night.
a good one.